What is going on YouTube? Omega V here with you, and I'm bringing you an opening of the new Link Strike starter deck. Yeah, I'm not too fond of actually Link format in general. I don't know, I just kind of think that it was dumb of Konami to completely destroy so many decks that relied on the extra deck, while things like Zodiac and True Dracos, which everyone knows is what took nationals everywhere, those things remained largely unaffected because they don't really use the extra deck that much. The one extra deck monster is more than enough for it, but so far I mean, at this time that this is going up, the what's it called? Code of the Duelist is already out, and really I'm not impressed with any of the cards in it. I'm thinking so far that the Vandreds are going to be my favorites. But yeah, it's not, I don't know. The World Chalices are kind of cool, but nothing that really grabbed my eyes. But I really did feel the same way about Pendulum Monsters when they first came out, and then I ended up really loving some Pendulum decks. Like, my Deity deck is still one of my favorites, and then I have a Zephyr Pendulum deck, which is also really fun. And yeah, so hopefully my mind changes about these things, and hopefully they get better. But let's go ahead and get started with this opening. So yep, here on this, we see the Decode Talker with the main character, whose name I don't remember. I think it's a Yusaku or something like that, but yeah, let's go ahead and open this crap. Okay, I tried. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Here we have the new rulebook. I will have a video out explaining how Link Summoning actually works with different Link decks here soon, so keep an eye out for that. I'll be explaining exactly how all this stuff works, but it's all in here. Link Summoning in itself is not that hard. The harder part is realizing how it actually affects your deck, but let's go ahead and open the new playmat first, see how that looks. So the back is plain, nothing in there. Kinda expected that, but yeah, let me. So yeah, you can see the extra monster zone in there, and let me zoom out a little bit here. Yep, you can see the extra monster zone in there. Graveyard deck. The biggest change to them is really that the Pendulum zones got switched to the 2 spell and trap card zones, and the extra monster zones. So this is where Link monsters go, really, when you first start them out. Anything from the extra deck has to go to the extra monster zone first. And if you don't have a Link monster, you can't summon them out to your regular zone, so that's the biggest change there. This playmat itself is actually okay. I don't mind it. It's nice and basic. Like, it doesn't have any big characters on it or anything, but it's a fairly decent playmat. Like, it's just nice and simple. Has the hexagons for the links, but I do prefer my own little playmat here. So, alright, now on to what everyone's actually here for, the deck. Alright, so let's zoom back in here. Too much. Alright, so first off we have, I'm going to try not to spoil all the cards immediately, even though most of you have probably seen, but we have this Link Slayer here. Its effect, if you control no monster, special summon this card. Discard up to 2 cards, then target that many spell cards on the field and destroy them. So Not a bad card to start with. I definitely see the advantage of having that thing. It's a nice little level 5 with an added in MST or Twin Twister type effect, so it's fairly nice. Yeah. Personally, I don't think that the Cybers archetype is going to be actually that good. Mainly because it's the main character's monster, and from ever since they started doing archetype specific things, just the main character monsters are not that great. Like, if they were, you would have seen a lot more Pendulum Magicians, you would have seen a lot more DDDs, Red Dragons, Stardust stuff. I'm not saying that they're bad decks, they're really good for locals, and maybe at regionals you can get away with winning some, but if you're going to stuff like nationals, you're more than likely never taking anything like this, so I don't have too much hope for the Cybers monsters. Next up, we have obviously the Decode Talker, main boss monster of the deck so far. Let's zoom in on that. Gains 500 attack for each monster it's pointing to, then opponent activates a card effect that targets a monster you control, tribute one monster to sleep. Okay, so it has a nice little negation effect, and the artwork's actually pretty cool on these. It's actually really easy to tell the difference between this and a ritual monster. You can see all the little hexagons on it, so when I first saw that I thought it was going to be all ritual based, honestly, just because of the blue card typing on it, but you know, it's actually really, I actually really like the design of the cards. I'm not too fond of the mechanic yet, but again, that might end up changing. So, Link Slayer, or Decode Talker, I mean. Then we have a Ram Clouder. Zoom in on the effect here. Tribute one monster. Target one Cybers monster in your graveyard. Special summon it. Use them only once per turn. So I actually do like that they switched the graveyard to GY. It makes reading things a lot quicker. And again, another Cybers monster. So right now they don't seem too bad here. Next up we have this little Honeybot here. What's her effect? Zoom. Neither player can target monsters this card points to with card effects. They can't be destroyed by battle. So it's a pretty decent card. The only downside obviously is that 1900 attack points isn't really going to help it out too much against some of the other decks. But it's a nice little effect and can save your monsters at least one turn probably. And next up we have the Link Spider. I actually really do like this card. Yeah, once per turn you can special summon one level 4 normal monster from your hand to the zone this card points to. So yeah, I actually really like this card. The main reason why I bought 3 of these is so I could have this guy. Basically I want to run him in my Dark Magician build, because he really helps mill out the actual Dark Magicians and get your combos going with them, so fairly good card. I do like the design of this spider. It looks all technical and I like spiders, so yeah. Alright, next we have the normal type Bitron, another Cybers monster. A new species, an electronic Tysace. Draconet. This card's effect is, if this ever focuses, focus. Come on. Okay, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 2 or lower normal monster from your hand or deck in the defense position. So basically a combo with Bitron. Galaxy Serpent's in there just as another target for that base, I'm assuming. So normal tuner, so yeah. Mystery Shell Dragon, Get another normal card for it. Then we have the Beast King Barbaros. This actually kind of surprised me there, that this was in there. It's kind of just a random card that was thrown in, but you can normal summon this card without tributing, but its original attack becomes 1900. Tribute 3 monsters, summon this card. If summoned, destroy all cards your opponent controls. So, this deck seems like kind of a spamming deck, which makes sense that Beast King Barbaros would be in there if you can get the 3 monsters out fairly easily. So, I don't know. Personally, I think that this card is better than some of the other cards in the deck, but that's just my opinion. Cyber Dragon, we all know what he does. Special summon him. And Photon Thrasher, same thing, another special summon target. Next we have Exarian Universe. This card, during your battle step, if it attacks a defense position monster, make this card lose exactly 400 attack, and if it does, inflict piercing damage. I wasn't really expecting this card in there. I'm not sure actually how it's even relevant to the deck. This card I feel like just, I don't know, I just feel like it was just thrown in there as a target or something, but yeah. Evil Swarm Mandragora. If your opponent controls more monsters than you can special summon this card from your hand. So, see, this one makes sense, because you can, even if you've already special summoned out a Photon Thrasher, let's say you've summoned already that out, and then you manage to summon out this guy, it'll let you go out into your, I believe it's the Honeybot. Honeybot requires 2 Cyberse monsters, but Alright, well, I guess you can go into Decode Talker. It says 2 or more effect monsters, so you can go into Decode Talker with him and get that all set up. So that card makes sense that you would actually have on there. Marauding Captain, pretty standard on there. Can't target warriors. Normal summon, special summon 1 level 4 monster from hand. Sanguine, again, pretty standard for spamming. The next card kind of threw me off a little bit. Curry Bandit. It's an excavating monster, really. So during the end phase, this card was normal summon this turn. You can tribute this card, excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 excavated spell trap to your hand, send the remaining cards to the graveyard. So that kind of makes more sense in like a Lightsworn type build, but I don't know, maybe it's helpful for this. Marshmallow, come on, focus. Okay, well, it's not focusing, but he can't be destroyed by battle after damage calculation. If this card was attacked and face down at the start of damage step, attacking player takes 1000 damage, so this one makes sense because it helps you get a monster on the field. Card D. Cannot be special summoned during your main phase 1 if this card was normal summoned this turn. Tribute summon, draw 2 cards. So these are kind of just like drawing and burning cards here. Again, Raikou the Lightsworn Hunch, so we all know this is an excavating card. Flip, apply these effects, destroy 1 card on fields, send top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. So I actually like that Raikou was included in this, basically because I don't have him, and I do have a Lightsworn deck. So that, I kind of needed him. Battle Fader, pretty standard. I'm actually surprised this was included on it, and I really dig that. Basically, it stops a direct attack to your life points. And same with Swift Eye and Scarecrow, the difference being that Battle Fader goes onto the field and Swift Scarecrow goes to the graveyard. They actually included an Effect Veiler too, which I remember when this card was like $20–25 a piece, that just because it was it was difficult to get, and now it's been reprinted so many times. But again, there you see the reprinted to the GY, the graveyard. So next up we have the Cynet Universe, the new field spell for them. I mean, I guess it's okay that they included a field spell already for them. All Link monsters gain 300 attack. Once per turn, target one monster in the graveyard, shuffle it into the deck. This card destroyed by card effects, send all monsters on the extra monster zones to the graveyard. So this can actually be kind of helpful in, say, if your opponent has something out and then you have nothing, or you want to destroy your own Link monster for some reason. It can be pretty helpful there. Monster Reincarnation, add one monster to your hand. Dark Hole, destroy all cards on the field, all monsters on the field. Pretty standard in any deck, really. Mystical Space Typhoon, destroy one spell, trap card on the field. One Book of Moon. This one actually is weird that they actually included a Book of Moon, because it flips a monster face down, but to face down defense position, I mean. But this won't work on any Link monster because they can't go into defense position. Like, it's literally in the rulings that Link monsters don't go into defense position because they don't have a defense. If you saw that earlier, they have just a Link zone on there, so I just pull one out really quick. Or a Link level, I mean. So yeah, you can see on here, this one is a Link 2, if it focuses. Yeah, Honeybot is a Link 2. There's no mention of any defense. Like, Link monsters can only be in attack position for the entire time. I don't know if that'll ever change. I doubt it. It's kind of essential to the cards that they be in attack position. So I doubt it'll ever change, but we'll see what happens. Again, I'm fairly biased towards this. I don't particularly like it. But yeah. Forbidden Lens, really good card actually. A lot of people have forgotten about this card, so yeah, one monster loses 800 attack, unaffected by other spells and traps, so it can really help you save your monsters if you need to. United We Stand, monster gains 800 attack points for every face-up card you control, so this can actually be potentially pretty powerful to use. We might see this card actually getting a lot more play than it has. Pot of Duality, pretty standard in any deck, really. I'm not surprised that this was included. Burden of the Mighty. Discard your opponent's monster. Not discard. When this card is played, your opponent's monsters lose 100 attack points for the level that they are, so yeah, not bad at all. And it's important to note that I believe Link monsters are considered to have a level on them. I think no they don't. I'm stupid. God, I'm stupid. Yeah, Link monsters do not have any stars at all, so they do not have a level. I am an idiot. I do apologize. Moving back on. Supply Squad. Once per turn, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle, draw one card. Terraforming, search out your field spell. Really good card. Jar of Avarice, basically. Trap card, Pot of Greed. Wait, no it's not, is it? I'm thinking of some other jar, but this one is, yeah. Target 5 cards in your graveyard, except for Jar of Avarice. Shuffle all 5 into the deck. Draw one card. This actually is going to be really good in my Lightsworns also. Call of the Haunted. They have a much better version of this card in Code of the Duelist. It's probably the only card I actually want from it. So I will be opening some packs hoping to get that card. So Mirror Force, pretty standard, everyone knows what it does. Torrential Tribute, same thing. Ring of Destruction. This card hasn't seen play in a long time. During your opponent's turn, target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Attack is equal to or less than or equal to their life points. Destroy that face-up monster. You do take a damage equal to it. Then inflict damage equal to the damage you took to your opponent. So not only does your opponent lose a monster, but they also lose their life points. So yeah, bottomless, pretty standard. I'm actually surprised this isn't here. They have a compulsory evacuation device. This one just sends any card that was summoned back to the hand. So really nice there. Fiendish Chain. This one just negates an effect of a face-up monster, basically, since it's not zooming in. And then the last card is a Dark Bribe. I actually kinda am okay with that. This card's a little underrated in my opinion. So when the opponent's spell or trap card activated, your opponent just draws one card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So yeah, pretty nice. For a starter deck, it's actually not a bad. It's actually not a bad deck for a starter deck. I guess I'll put together a deck profile based on just the starter deck. So a really big budget deck of what you can use on here. So that'll be out shortly. Even though I'm not 100% sure that. I'll end up likely taking it apart because I do need the cards for some other things. But I will make that deck profile just to show you guys. So until then, later.